Welcome back into another edition of Senior Spotlights right here on WUDP. Today we have a very special episode and edition of the Senior Spotlights, and we're going to be covering the person who was responsible for creating the Senior Spotlight series in Senior Lindsey Stenger. Lindsey's an electronic media major from Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, the place where peaches are well known apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
So Lindsey, what brought you here to Waynesburg?
So this is kind of actually an unconventional way of getting to this campus. Every time I think of kind of how my journey to here is, I think of the quote, you know what, tell God your plans and watch him laugh. So my entire high school career, I was like, wasn't really sure if I wanted to even go to college. It was not my thing. I was not about it. Then, I was entering my junior year and I was like, you know what, maybe I'll go to college, like get my parents off my back, I'll do it. So I started looking at state schools. So I went to a really small private school and I didn't have the greatest experience there. So I had two things on my list. It was gonna be big and it was not gonna be private. So where did I end up? At a really tiny private school. So obviously there was a bit of a difference there. I was absolutely convinced I was going to Kutztown University. I was gonna play, I was gonna change my major. I was just gonna do a lot of other things. And then my parents just kept pushing me, hey, like you've only really checked out 2 colleges. Why don't we go on a few more college visits? Let's just do it. And they were really just hounding on me, and I was over it. I was like, okay, fine, let's go check out wherever you want to go. So we checked out Shippensburg, which is 20 minutes from my school or my hometown, and then we came here, which was super duper random. It was literally one girl that I graduated with came here, and they were like, okay, well, how about you check that out? So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll check it out. And I was all over the campus. I was just like, still wasn't really feeling it. Wasn't loving the idea of just all of these, hills. And then I walked up to the 4th floor, and this is gonna sound so cheesy, but just like something felt different. I felt at home, and I had never felt that on any other campus at any other place or any other building anywhere, really. So when I came up here, I kind of was like, okay, you know what, maybe that's a sign that I need to swallow my pride a little bit and come to a small private school if that's the best place for me and put me in the best situation that I possibly can. So that's how I showed up.
That's a great story, Lindsey. So over your time here at Waynesburg University and the Department of Communication, you've been a part of WCTV. You're the executive producer for that. You've also been a part of WCYJ-FM. So let's talk about WCYJ-FM first. Part of the only country music show down the hollow. So tell me, how has that impacted you and how much fun has that been for you over your time here at Waynesburg?
So I am primarily a TV person now, but I really think that radio and WCYJ kind of saved me in a way. As my sophomore year, I really didn't know what I was doing here. I didn't really feel very invested in this department, but then I was like, you know what, let me try some radio, let me get involved with that. So once I got involved with that, I was still kind of I was debating on changing my major to business, and then I was like, you know what, no, let's just stick it out a little bit longer, and I got a radio internship my sophomore year, the sophomore summer going into my junior year. And then once I was going through all of that, I kind of was like, you know what, I can do this. This is my path. This is how I'm supposed to go. And just being with WCYJ-FM has been an absolute blast. And I can't thank it enough for kind of molding me and reminding me that I can do what I wanted to do. Obviously, in the next few years, I came more over into the TV side opposed to just radio, but broadcasting was kind of my love after radio, and WCYJ's been outstanding. It's been so fun. Down the hollow at one point we would have, pre-COVID, we would have like 6 or 7 different people in there all of the time. It was just a big party, and obviously with COVID there's less people in there, but it's still such a party, and it's so fun.
Yeah, those were definitely the glory days of Down the Hollow. I honestly, personally love those days. Being in there with you, with Madison, with Emily. I miss those days tremendously. But let's talk about TV now, because you just touched on it right there. How has WCTV impacted you in your time here? Because you've been a very busy girl for us here on the 4th floor of Buellin for WCTV.
Yeah, my television, presence kind of blossomed a lot in the last couple years. My freshman year, I was involved, but I wasn't really involved because I was terrified of so many things that were going on. There were so many people that were better than me. I just kept comparing myself. And then I started getting involved with it more, and I was like, you know what? Actually, this is so fun. I love it. I really want to be a part of this. And then my junior year kind of took off. I was making packages left and right and up and down, and it was just all of the time. So then I was like, okay, yeah, I really like this TV thing. And then that kind of inspired me to apply for the executive producer position, because executive producer is just kind of fun. It's not as stick to the quo as like general manager or, assistant manager or news director even. So when I was put into this position, I was like, okay, now it's time to have some fun with it. So I've really enjoyed my time with WCTV, whether it be on the newscast, the buzz that I've been a part of, or even if it's just behind the scenes.
The buzz, all about your beeswax on WCTV. I want to talk about more of the packages in there, because from your sophomore year to your junior year, you made a tremendous leap, and you ended up taking pretty much like almost every package every single week. So what was like the mindset for you on doing that and getting involved so much with the news team?
Oh, Lordy. So I actually just was looking back on this because I was kind of curious. So my sophomore year, I did a total of 8 packages. My junior year, I did 36. So huge step, like you said. Yeah, I kind of was, I don't even want to say I was forced, but like I kind of just felt guilty. I don't know why I felt guilty, but no one was taking packages. No one was stepping up. And I was like, all right, I guess I got to do it. So I was just taking all of these packages. And yes, during that time, I was incredibly frustrated with my team, just no one else taking packages. I was like, okay, I'm doing 4 this week. You're doing 1 and you're complaining? Like, no. But looking back, I had to keep telling myself, you're doing this and it's only going to make you better. It's only going to make you better. Your packages are going to be 100 times better when you're done with your 36th than it would have been if you were done with your 8th. So that's kind of just how I kept going. And there were actually a lot of stress cries within that time period, and just a lot of, I'm done, I can't do this. And then the next week I would take 4 again. So it just kept going. But it was definitely sparked my love for news and reporting and things like that.
Yeah, I'm sure there was a lot of growth in you just like talent-wise throughout package number 8 to package number 36. So could you talk about some of the growth, maybe not only with the news team, but also in your personal growth here in your time at Waynesburg University?
Oh, wow. Okay. I kind of would like to explain it more of like almost a U shape. When I first came here, I was really, really confident in myself, and I was just really ready to go. I was ready to just power through everything. And then it kind of like dipped and made a really, really rough. I went through a few rough patches where I was just questioning myself, not only in just calm stuff, but also in academic things and friendships and just me as a person. Did I even like who I was anymore? And then now coming back up, I'm just as, if not even more happy with the person that I've become now. Personal growth, I've seen a lot in just how I think about things, how I think about friendships, how I think about relationships just in general. That has been probably my biggest personal growth. Looking at calm stuff, it is a complete 180 from where I was. I mean, I was terrified to take packages. I was terrified to even like speak in a room full of all of the sports guys. And now I'm in the TV office all of the time with the guys. Even if I'm just by myself, I'm hanging out in the TV office, which looking back as a freshman, I would have never done, ever. So that is definitely the biggest growth that I see in myself as far as where I've come from freshman year.
So what are some of your favorite moments that you've had thus far at Waynesburg University?
Oh, Lord. I wrote these questions and I'm still not prepared for them. There has been so many amazing moments, but probably anything where I'm in Melinda's office. Prior to COVID, we used to have a whole little group and, the office clan, office gang, all of that stuff. And we just were always having a blast in there. And most influential moment that I've ever had was actually, again, with Melinda. It was my sophomore year. And I was kind of slacking, just skirting by. And she looked at me one day. I was down and she could tell I was down. And she's like, what's the problem? Like, talk to me. Like, what's going on? And I kind of let her in a little bit. And she basically told me, she's like, Lindsey, it was a little bit of tough love because I was not loving it when she told me, but she said, Lindsey, you're not doing what I know you can do. And why are you here? Why are you paying for this education if you're not going to get what you can out of it? And from that point on, I was like, all right, Lindsey, you got to figure it out or get out, basically. So that's when I decided, the internship and everything that morphed me. So I kind of kicked it into high gear. And then my junior year, like we said earlier, I kind of kicked butt with all of the news packages that I was taking. And I just kind of have always thought about that. It was like, why are you here if you're not going to put forth the effort, if you're not going to be as involved as you possibly can be?
Yeah, and you said that you can go on and on about Professor Melinda Roeder-Skirben. So I just want to ask you, how much has she influenced and inspired you, not only in those stories that you just gave, but in your time here at Waynesburg, because she must have had such a critical part in just your time here?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Melinda, I will be the first one to admit that I would be nowhere without Melinda. I mean, I can give almost 95% of my credit of who I am as a broadcaster to that woman. She gives and gives and gives and just never expects anything in return. And she has been so much more than a professor or a mentor, and so much more than I or really anyone on this department deserves, as far as just offering advice academically, comm-related things, personally, job-related things. She's just so incredible, and oh my word, I'm gonna get emotional if I talk too much about it, but leaving her and leaving this department and leaving all of that is just gonna be not my favorite thing in the world to do. But yeah, Melinda has been one outstanding woman from the minute I walked onto this campus to the moment I leave.
That's great to hear, Lindsey. So when you came to Waynesburg originally on your visit, it didn't completely wow you, but you ended up deciding you wanted to come here. So are you happy that you came to Waynesburg? Or would you have done things differently looking back on it?
No, I am 100% happy with everything that I've done as far as choosing Waynesburg. Do I wish sometimes that I would have gone to a bigger school? Yeah, weekends mostly when there's nothing going on here. But when it comes to looking at where I've come in my career and where I'm about to go, there is absolutely no other place that I would rather be than on this fourth floor field right now.
Such a great answer, Lindsey. So this is always a tough question for people. Obviously, the news industry is kind of struggling right now with jobs and everything after graduation. So what are your plans for after graduation?
That is the golden question, isn't it? I have a few interviews and contacts that I've had so far, just having them reach out. And right now I'm in the process of reaching out and finding places that even want to hire me. I'm kind of applying anywhere and everywhere at this point. I'm not being picky whatsoever. Just give me a job, please. So that's pretty much where I'm at. Hopefully in the next couple weeks or months, I will have more interviews and I will secure a job for when after I leave. But as of now, the job hunt is in full swing.
So if you could pick a dream job or at least a goal that you want to accomplish throughout your career, what would that be?
So Melinda and I actually have this little joke where I have to win more Emmys than her. That would probably be my big overall goal for when I leave this place. Not because I think I'm better or have more potential than Melinda, but Melinda said that she never had anyone like her helping her and moving her along and all this stuff, so I have no choice then to get more Emmys than her. So that's kind of my overall goal. I mean, really just one Emmy would make my heart so happy, so that's kind of where I want to be eventually.
That's a great answer. A great little friendly rivalry, we'd call it. So Lindsey, what will you miss most about your time here at Waynesburg University and the Department of Communication?
Yeah, oof, man. It's so hard to even think about leaving this place, which, like any other home, we love it, we hate it, we love to hate it, all of that stuff. But I am going to absolutely miss the camaraderie and the family that I have created here. I think about this all the time, how this department is like none other. They always say oh yeah, the comm kids are so close, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, I mean, look at what we do, look at what we've created, what we bond over. It's just all of this amazing stuff that we've done here for ourselves and for each other. It's a huge teamwork situation, and leaving my family here on the fourth floor is going to be absolutely devastating.
Thank you so much, Lindsey, for your time here, not only for this Senior Spotlight, but for creating the whole Senior Spotlight series. And that'll cap off The Senior Spotlight series is with your interview. Thank you so much for tuning into this series. For Riley Holsinger, good night, everybody.